The sleep map my watch drew of a room I don't know. Apple loves to congratulate me for surviving the night. It throws rings at my wrist and calls it triumph. It has never, until this morning, drawn me a map of a place I didn't sleep in. At 6:03 a.m., my watch tapped me with its small etiquette and the health app bloomed open like a waiter who knows your face. Great night, it lied. Under the cartoon trophy, a blue root appeared. Asleep, 12:41:3:18. Beneath that, an address I could picture without wanting to. Alder Rooms, 217 Harbor Place, 2 blocks from the river. A lobby tiled to apologize for itself. I hadn't left the apartment. Sierra had texted at 10 with our shorthand. Studio late, don't wait. Her hyphen for I'm not asking permission, I'm promising nothing stupid. She designs light that behaves. I make rooms sound like they are telling you the truth even when they are only practicing. Our jobs teach us to mistrust ambience. My watch tried to give me ambience with coordinates. Show more, I pressed, as if the rectangle would confess. It offered a graph of stages, light, deep, REM, coloring a bed someone else had chosen. Below, a tag I did not create, new sleep location. The map pin blinked twice like a lie that had learned manners. I lay on my back and looked at the ceiling as if knowing where the night went would excuse what it had done. The ugly lamp in the small room down the hall sent its half-hearted yellow into the corner like a witness afraid of cross-examination. The basil on the sill pretended it was immortal. The refrigerator made its little astonished noises at being allowed to work. I didn't call. Midnight calls are for men who hope to hear their own restraint. I got up. I put on the jacket you have admired, the one that makes people think I'm about to say something worth believing. I locked our door, which sticks if you don't push first, and walked toward the address my watch had memorized with a virtue I couldn't stomach. Alder Rooms likes to be looked at. Brick pretending to be inherited. A clerk at the desk with a face that has practiced 3 kinds of course. I did not ask for keys. I did not ask for mercy. I stood just inside the revolving door and let the lobby decide whether I mattered. A couple crossed in front of me, performing urgency toward the elevator. A woman apologized to a concierge for her own existence because she had been told that's polite. A man tried to order water and failed to make it sound like anything but confession. The elevator arrived and took people up to choices they would live with. I left mine on the rug, still unmade. Home tasted like citrus and the small reprisals of cleanliness. I put the watch on the counter as if it might be shamed by being asked to sit with the basil. At 8:12 the lock turned, and the hallway slid its yellow under our door. Sierra stepped in with hair pinned low, and the face she wears when a wall thinks it's smarter than she is, and she forgave it anyway. She saw my mouth becoming weather. She rested both palms on the counter like a person promising a surface she won't lie on it. You saw it, she said. Alder Rooms, I said. My wrist is better at maps than I am. Kitchen or small room, she asked. The small room is where we write rules on the back of takeout menus and ask the ugly lamp to keep secrets. The kitchen is where we keep knives and mercy. Here, I said, let the refrigerator testify. She dimmed the overhead light a notch, the move she makes when a projector is bragging and needs humility. He insisted I see the lobby wall after hours, she said. Theo. Sponsor wrapped in a friend-shaped outline. He likes rooms better when they believe they are private. I went because part of my job is to translate floors into promises. My hand betrayed me by turning my watch back on. The map glowed. I turned it face down. He said the sentence men like him keep polished, she continued. You look different when you're not managing. I kissed him once to keep the rest of the paragraph from arriving. It wasn't good. It tasted like someone else's idea of me. She looked up, not away. I slept in a chair in the control room because I did not trust the wall to be the only thing lying. I logged it on my phone because I did not trust myself to believe me in the morning. The watch learned the address and decided celebration was in order. That is the most accurate version that isn't performance. "What did you want?" I asked, hunting for a tone that wouldn't make the word into a weapon. "To finally discover whether the part of me that says yes to the hotel alphabet died," she said. "She hasn't. She got quiet. She can be negotiated with. She doesn't get glass or mornings." "Do you want him?" I said, because we have both learned the worst question is better now than later. "No," she said. "I want an hour where my face gets to be a face and not a tool. He impersonates that hour well. You build it in this house." We stood there letting the basil decide which side it was on. I took the takeout menu off the fridge, the one that looks more sacred with every grease fingerprint, and uncapped the pen that lives in the sugar bowl. "Truth before sleep," I wrote. Sierra nodded and added underneath in her steadier hand. "If the watch draws a blue line, my mouth draws a sentence here first." I wrote, "If you think you have to kiss someone to find out you don't want them, tell me before your body tries to publish." She underlined "tell" twice, because love looks like warnings in her handwriting. "Storm or quiet?" she asked. The tremor in it did not ask for forgiveness, it confessed fatigue. "Quiet," I said, "then enough weather to wash the room and leave the floor dry." We ate noodles without wanting them because chairs require commitment. After, she slid her mouth to the place beneath my ear where day becomes a smaller animal. I put my hands where they've learned to be brave, both hips, the square at the top of her spine that resets time. She climbed onto the counter because physics can be a sacrament. We were careful because spectacle belongs to other people, greedy because yes isn't an endless budget. We stopped while we could still call it choosing. We pressed our foreheads together until our breath forgot it had been used by other sentences. In the morning, the watch tried to be helpful. "Great job closing your rings," it announced, as if it hadn't spent the night turning blue for someone else. Sierra returned her coffee mug to the sink and her eyes to my face. "I told Theo no more after hours," she said, "and I told the wall it doesn't get to perform sadness without witnesses." I tuned a black box theater back to human. She coaxed a museum into remembering the way dawn actually falls on oceans. At lunch, my watch asked if I wanted to add Alder rooms to my sleep locations. I laughed into the empty room like a man telling a joke to his ghost and pressed no, a small treason against a machine that thinks accuracy is devotion. The city is petty and efficient. A week later, the watch buzzed again in the middle of a grocery aisle. "Nap recorded," it said, cheerful. The map pin this time blinked over our building. The dumb joy I felt made me ashamed and then relieved. I bought basil again out of optimism and lost in 2 weeks with dignity. Then the watch invented a new way to be helpful. Sierra ended sleep focus at 3:17 a.m. It told me one night as if my chest had subscribed to her notifications. I found her in the small room, legs folded under the ugly lamp, writing with the seriousness she saves for machines that don't have feelings. She looked up and smiled like a person who has decided to pay the bills honestly. "I'm moving the watch from my wrist to the charging stand before I even think of lobbies," she said. It turns out technology cannot be made to mind its own business. Theo learned a trick as well. He started copying actual adults on his emails. He used daylight. He left the word aftercare out of sentences it wasn't designed for. He nodded at me in public and did not attempt nuance. We nodded back because courtesy is cheaper than justice and just as rare. Of course we failed. People do. A dry cleaner called to confirm the black silk for Friday would be ready. My stomach rehearsed a speech and then retired it. I picked up the dress and set its bag on the back of the chair where we sit to be our worst selves kindly. Sierra touched the plastic the way you touch a relic. It is possible to own a ritual without using it, she said. It is also possible to wear it in a kitchen and make it a different ritual. That night she put the silk on with the care you reserve for small, precise wars. We did not leave the apartment. We did not rob ourselves of that future by pretending to perform it for anyone else. She climbed onto the counter with a laugh that did not ask to be forgiven. I learned a new map with my hands and refused to draw it for any city. We stopped when stopping meant we could be greedy again tomorrow. The watch kept trying to bring me something. A memory for you, it said on a Tuesday morning when the light decided to like our kitchen. The little stitched film it made was of me making toast in a shirt I hate and Sierra smiling at the way I held the knife. I kept that one. If a machine is going to learn devotion, it might as well aim at bread. We wrote new rules, because rules are how we turn storms into something worth watching. If sleep happens anywhere we didn't agree to, we wake each other up and call it research. If a sponsor invitation is funnier than it is polite, we hang up and kiss until the joke is over. If the watch runs out of ways to make me absurd, we congratulate it. I still map everything. It's how I remain a person who's allowed to be in rooms. On nights when the board requires me to record an applause no one deserves, I come home and tap the ugly lamp on and lay my watch face down until it learns humility. On mornings when Sierra's hair forgets to be professional, I make the basil pretend to be a forest and she laughs, and that is geography I can live with. Last week the watch tried one more time to be a cousin. Sleep Now suggests alder rooms, it offered up, a little petition. I pressed less like this with a gratitude humans rarely earn for each other. Sierra came up behind me and set her mouth to my collarbone without performance. "Don't start without me," she said. "Then come here," I said. We did. The room did what rooms do when you've taught them humility. The lamp uglied itself into holiness. We stopped like people who have learned that letting desire survive the night is the way you guarantee the morning doesn't make a liar of you. If you are asking what I did with the blue line, nothing. I let it fade from the screen the way weather fades from a window. We taped a new sentence to the fridge in her careful hand. Sleep is a room we make, not a place we are invited to. Below it, she drew a little map of our kitchen and an X where our bodies go when the phone is done telling on us.